The Queen has culled the guest list for one of the key moments of her Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Only working members of the royal family are permitted to join her on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, meaning the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Prince Andrew have been snubbed.
Were shocked to see that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were relegated to the second row during the Queen's funeral.
The truth nobody wanted to say out loud, but everyone felt in their bones is this. Wherever Meghan Markle went, doors didn't just close, they slammed, and sometimes the cameras caught every brutal second. This isn't about rumors whispered online. This is about moments so uncomfortable, so exposed, that even palace walls couldn't hide them. Power plays, silent rejections, smiles freezing mid-frame, and a pattern so loud it became impossible to ignore. The first shock hit like ice water. The Queen's funeral, a moment meant for unity, reverence, and silence, and yet the air shifted the second Meghan arrived. People didn't need gossip blogs to tell them something was wrong, they felt it. Conversation slowed, smiles tightened, eyes darted. According to those present, it wasn't politics or press drama. It was something darker, heavier. Call it vibes, call it energy, call it instinct, but the reaction was real, and it wasn't subtle. Meghan wasn't removed with words, she was isolated with space, candles, distance, a second row that screamed louder than any announcement ever could. In royal language, this was a velvet-gloved rejection, and just when you think that was a one-off, it wasn't. Morocco, the red carpet moment that was supposed to be flawless. Military precision, royal symbolism, one prince, one spotlight. But Meghan saw opportunity, not protocol. She stepped forward, ready to slide into the frame, to share the moment, to be seen. And then reality hit hard. The universe didn't bend. The script didn't change. A staff member intervened. Calm, firm, unmovable. Not today, not here, not you. Meghan tried to negotiate with her presence, with a look, with a pause. Nothing worked. The carpet stayed sacred. Harry moved forward alone. Meghan was redirected to the side, her smile stiff, her frustration leaking through every controlled step. No words were needed. The message landed anyway. And then came Florida. Polo, celebration, trophies, cameras everywhere.
Cool. Really awkward encounter after she tried to join her husband and his Polo teammates on stage after a match last week. Now, it's just so cringeworthy. I don't know why she's up there, for one.
The win wasn't hers, but the spotlight had to be. Meghan reached for a teammate's trophy box like it was already promised. The player pulled it back. Awkward, painfully visible. Meghan ducked under arms, forcing her way into the frame, determined not to disappear. It wasn't supportive. It wasn't graceful. It was desperate. The kind of moment where the room notices and judges. A victory turned into secondhand embarrassment in real time. And then there was Prince Charles's 70th birthday garden party, a royal setting built on restraint, tradition, and quiet respect. Meghan didn't last long. Insiders say her energy was off from the start, disengaged, visibly uninterested, not subtle about wanting to leave. Camilla reportedly overheard it, Meghan saying she just wanted to go home, not whispered, not hidden. And in that world, attitude is everything. Charles made a choice. Calm, final. Your car is waiting. No argument. No scene. They were escorted out, just like that. A family moment ended early because one person couldn't mask their contempt. Then came Frogmore Cottage. When Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties, they thought freedom meant escape without consequence. It didn't. Privileges evaporated, access vanished, and the message arrived without ceremony: pack up and leave. Frogmore wasn't symbolic, it was physical. A door closing. Permanently. Distance became real. The monarchy wasn't negotiating anymore. And if anyone still doubted how deliberate this all was,
overnight, a spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saying the couple is being kicked out of their Windsor home. Telling NBC News, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been requested to vacate their residence at Frogmore Cottage.
The Buckingham Palace balcony. Visibility, power, relevance. Meghan was cut out completely. Not reduced, not paused, removed. The balcony isn't decoration, it's hierarchy in human form. And Meghan was erased from it. No maybe later, no explanation, just absence. For someone who thrives on being seen, the silence was deafening. Then came the Jubilee.
The Queen has culled the guest list for one of the key moments of her Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Only working members of the royal family are permitted to join her on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, meaning the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Prince Andrew have been snubbed.
No balcony, no front row, no senior royal status. Meghan and Harry were seated away, separated, distant. The cameras didn't miss it. The palace didn't need to explain it. Hierarchy spoke for itself. Titles didn't matter. Cameras didn't save them. Meghan arrived expecting relevance. She left with a lesson. And then the funeral again. Second row, candles blocking sight lines. Strategic placement so precise it couldn't possibly be accidental. Royal events are planned down to inches. Meghan wasn't removed loudly, she was sidelined expertly. Polite exile. And if that wasn't enough, she was excluded from a major state event hosted by King Charles III. Leaders from around the world were invited. Meghan wasn't. Working royals only. The message was blunt: walk away from the job, lose the stage. Even her own wedding wasn't free of warning signs. A staff member reached to help with her gown. Meghan brushed the hand away. Impatient, dismissive. Cameras caught it. The image replayed endlessly. A fairy tale cracked before it even began. And inside Buckingham Palace, during Charles's anniversary reception, lines were crossed again. Harry and Meghan didn't wait where they were told. They moved ahead, stood where they shouldn't. Charles had to intervene. Senior royals only. Still, they lingered. Palace aides stepped in. Security followed. Quietly but firmly, they were escorted out. Rejection didn't stop at palace gates. A Michelin star restaurant in New York. Private table demanded. Status invoked. Prince named. The answer was still no. No one was impressed. Meghan stayed silent, aloof, watching the power play fail. Fame didn't work there. Titles didn't open doors. It ended in quiet humiliation. And that's where we stop, because this story only gets sharper, colder, and far more revealing from here. The pattern didn't end with embarrassment in public places. It escalated into something colder, sharper, and far more revealing. Moments where Meghan wasn't just awkwardly redirected, but silently rejected by systems that never explain themselves. Because when royalty is done with you, it doesn't shout. It simply steps back and lets the void speak. Take the Platinum Jubilee at St. Paul's Cathedral. Cameras were rolling, history was being honored, and eyes were locked onto one interaction that never happened. As Catherine entered, poised and composed, Meghan didn't lean in, didn't smile, didn't acknowledge. She looked away, cold, calculated. The kind of micro moment that lasts less than a second but echoes for years. In a family trained to perform unity under pressure, that single gesture felt like defiance. Critics didn't miss it, neither did the palace. In royal culture, you don't snub the future queen. Not publicly, not silently, not ever. And then came the polo match that turned into a slow-motion disaster. What should have been about charity and teamwork warped into a personal power display. Meghan stepped forward to present the trophy, but her eyes weren't on the cause, they were on positioning. When the charity chair stood beside Harry, Meghan gestured. Firm, insistent, move. Cameras caught it all. A woman being physically edged out of her own moment because Meghan wanted the shot just right. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't classy. It was domination dressed as enthusiasm. The backlash was immediate because nothing irritates the public faster than someone hijacking generosity for optics. Behind palace walls, patience was thinning. At the National Theater, where Meghan held an official patron role, something unprecedented happened. She allegedly ignored a direct request from the Queen to speak beforehand. Instead, she arrived expecting business as usual, but there was no meeting, no appearance, no role. She was stopped, informed, redirected. Security stepped in, and just like that, she was escorted away. No scene, no confrontation, just a quiet removal from a space she believed she still controlled. Cameras noticed something else too, no ring. That detail alone ignited speculation like gasoline on a flame. Was it a message, a warning, or a calculated move designed to be noticed? Because Meghan always knew where the cameras were. Then there was Fiji, the pink dress, the smiles, the waves, and then the hiss. A split second where the mask slipped. A man stood too close, said something she didn't like. Meghan turned, her face tightening into something sharp and unmistakably hostile. Reports later claimed he was left shaken, even in tears. Whether exaggerated or not, the footage told its own story. Politeness evaporated the moment control was challenged. Critics called it entitlement. Supporters called it stress. But the clip didn't lie. Nigeria followed years later, and somehow nothing had changed. During a school visit, a teacher spoke. Meghan turned away mid-sentence, cold, dismissive. And then the clip that detonated online, Meghan appearing to say, "Don't talk to me." Context was debated. Defenses were mounted, but the damage was done. Body language doesn't need subtitles. And once again, the accusation wasn't just rudeness, it was superiority. By this point, the palace wasn't reacting. It was adjusting. Meghan wasn't confronted, she was excluded. The coronation of King Charles III should have been unavoidable. Global cameras, historic weight, family obligation. And yet, Meghan wasn't there, not sidelined, not hidden, absent. The reason wasn't officially announced, but insiders whispered the truth. She was no longer needed, not wanted. Marriage alone didn't guarantee presence anymore. So in a ceremony built entirely on hierarchy and symbolism, absence screamed louder than any protest ever could. Because here's the brutal truth, the monarchy never states outright, relevance is earned through service, not marriage. And once Meghan stepped away from duty, the system stopped bending. Moment after moment, pattern after pattern, the same story replayed. Asked to step back, moved aside, quietly removed, not once with raised voices, not once with public explanations, just silent recalibration. And that's the most devastating kind of rejection there is. When the institution doesn't argue with you, it simply rearranges itself so you no longer fit. These weren't accidents, they weren't misunderstandings, they were corrections. Every redirection was a boundary. Every seating change was a statement. Every exclusion was intentional. And the cameras caught enough of it that denial became impossible. Because in the end, Meghan wasn't kicked out loudly. She was phased out gracefully. And in royal terms, that's the ultimate humiliation. Ultimate humiliation. Ultimate humiliation.